All right, so taking a look at the review, I'm going to do all the odd ones with you guys, and then whatever we don't do in class is going to be your homework. So let's take a look at 1, 3, and 5. What do you think I have to do for number 1? Plug it in. So I take 7, plug it in for t. So I have 7 minus 1, which is 6. Remember, you have to write your answer as a point for these. What did I plug in for t? 7. And what did I get as my answer? 6. So my answer would be 7, 6. All right, what do I do for number 3? Plug in 5. So I have 5 to the third power plus 5. So 5 to the third power is like saying 5 times 5 times 5. What is 5 times 5? 25, and 25 times 5 is 125. So 125 plus 5 would be what? 130. So what did I plug in for x? 5. What did I get as my answer? 130. All right, number 5. What do I do first? Plug in. So negative 3 times negative 6 squared minus 5 times negative 6. Remember, PEMDAS. So I have to do my exponent first. What's negative 6 times negative 6? Positive 36. That's still times negative 3. And then minus, what's 5 times negative 6? It'll become positive 30 because it's negative 5 times negative 6, so positive 30. What should I do next? So what's negative 3 times 36? Let's work it out. 36 times 3? You guys are geniuses. 3 times 6 is 18. This would be 108. So negative 108 plus 30 would be what? Negative 108 plus 30. Awesome, negative 78. So what did I plug in for x? Negative 6. What did I get for y? Negative 78. So that's my answer. You guys have any questions there? Awesome. For 7 and 9, we have to write the slope-intercept form of the equation given the slope and the y-intercept. What's our slope-intercept form? Awesome. Y equals mx plus b. So I just have to put in my slope for m and my y-intercept for b. So how would I write this equation? Minus 5. Awesome. If it's negative, it becomes minus. So you don't write the plus. It would just be minus 5. So all I'm doing is plugging in my slope and my y-intercept. All right, number 9. What do I get when I plug in? Awesome. Negative 1/2 what? X minus 4. All right, for the next 4, I have to find the slope. Anybody remember what my slope formula is? Awesome. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So the y's are always on top. And then you have to keep it consistent. So remember that just the 2's are over each other, the 1's are over each other. Keep it consistent. I'm going to label my points just so I know exactly what I need to plug in. I have x1, y1, x2, y2. Because this is my first point, point number 1, point number 2. Now I just plug everything in. So what goes on the top? 2 minus 4. Awesome. What goes on the bottom? Negative 5 minus 0. What's 2 minus 4? Negative 2. Or 2 minus 4. I don't know what I said, but 2 minus 4 is negative 2. What's negative 5 minus 0? Negative 5. Can I simplify this? What's a negative divided by a negative? becomes positive, but it's still 2 over 5. So that's my slope. Any questions there? All right, 13, we're doing the same thing. I have x1, y1, x2, y2. So what goes on the top? 1 minus 1. What goes on the bottom? 3 minus 4. What's 1 minus 1? And 3 minus 4? Negative 1. What happens when 0 is on the top? What's your answer? 0. If 0 is on the top, your answer is 0. If 0 is on the bottom, your answer is undefined. You can't have 0 in the bottom. So 0 is on the top, your answer is 0. Number 15, I have x1, y1, x2, y2. So what goes on the top? Negative 4 minus 4, and what goes on the bottom? 0 minus, no. Negative 4 minus negative 1, right? And then 0 minus 4. Yep. What happens when you have minus a negative? It becomes a plus. This becomes a big plus sign in the middle. So negative 4 plus 1 is what? Negative 3. And what's what's 0 minus 4? Negative 4. Can I simplify this? Positive 3 over 4. Awesome. Do you guys have any questions there? For number 2, does the mapping diagram represent a function? What do we think?
No.
Why? You can't have 2 arrows coming out of one number in your x's. This is our x, this is our y. Can't have 2 arrows coming out of an x, so this is not a function. For b, is this a function? Yep, it's a function because I don't have 2 arrows coming out of one x. Even though I have 2 arrows going to a y, that's totally fine. So this is a function. You just can't have 2 arrows coming out of an x. Your x can't be repeated. Number 3, is it a function?
No.
No, it's not a function because I have 2 arrows coming out of one x. What's my domain, though? X. Domain is your x values. So that's your first bubble here. So what are my x values? 1, 3, negative 5. Remember, you just write it in a little group with the squigglies. So squiggly, 1, 3, negative 5, squiggly. My range would be the y values. So what are my y's?
2, 0, 4, 4.
Awesome. So I just list my y values. Any questions there? For these were 2.1, so the first section in chapter 2. The first numbers are our x's, the second numbers are our y's. All the x's are in your domain, all the y's are in your range. To determine if something's a function or not, if I have 2 numbers coming out of one x value, this would be not a function. Not a function. Or if it was given in points, so let's say I had 0, 3 and 0, 2. Can my x's repeat? No. So would this be a function? No, not a function. Your x's can't repeat. Your y's can. So to determine if something's a function, we want to look at our x's. See if it repeats, then we know it's not a function. For b, is it a function?
No.
Do I have 2 arrows coming out of one x? So it is a function. Remember, these are your x's, these are your y's. X's come first, just like x's come before y in the alphabet. What would my domain be? My domain is my x value, so what are my numbers in my x bubble? 1, -1, 0, -3, and 3. I'm just listing all of these numbers here. The numbers in my x bubble. My range is my y, so what are the numbers in my y bubble? Awesome. 1, -1, and 6. Can't have two lines coming out of an x. Iggy, you paying attention? Can't have two lines coming out of one x. And you can't have your x's repeat. These are the two cases that are not a function. Can I have two numbers going to one y? Two lines going to one y? Yep, so this would be a function. So your y can repeat, your x's can't. All right, let's go to the next page. So looking at C, is it a function? Raise your hand if you think it's a function. Raise your hand if you think not a function. It is not a function because you have two arrows coming out of one x. So this would be not a function. All right, for the graphing ones, to determine if it's a function or not, we have to do the vertical line test. So if I put a vertical line through any of these points, does it hit 2 points? Yep, here. So is this a function? No. Not a function. If you put a vertical line through your graph and it touches at 2 points, it's not a function. What about for number 5? Not a function. If I put a vertical line here, touches at 2 points, so this would be not a function. For number 6, determine whether the relation is a function. If it's not a function, circle the ordered pairs that cause it to not be a function. So since it gives me pairs, I'm just looking to see if my x's repeat. So remember, x's are the first number. So I have -2, 0, 1, 1, 2, and 3. Any number repeat? 1 repeated here and here. So these 2 points are what make it not a function. So it is no, not a function. Looking at the next one. I have 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, and -5. Any numbers repeat? No. So is this a function? Yeah. Yes, it's a function. And then in C, I have 0, 1, 2, 0, -5, and 3. Do any numbers repeat? Yeah. Which ones? 0. So where my x's are zeros, these make it not a function. So no, not a function. For C, so looking at this one, if this question asked me to list my domain and range, what would my domain be? It'll be all my x's. So what are my x values here? 0, 1, 2. Do I list it again if it repeats? No. So next, -5 and 3. Awesome. What about my range? Remember, range are the y values. So it'd be the second number in that point. Awesome. That last 4 repeats, so you don't write it twice. So domain is the x's, range is the y's. X's come before y's. Because x comes before y in the alphabet. Do you guys have any questions here? All right, next one. So here we have to write the slope-intercept form of the equation of a line. So this is where we want it to be y equals. What's our slope-intercept form? Y equals mx plus b. So we want it to look like this. We need it to be y equals, then our x, then the number. So what should I do? Awesome. I want to move that 48 to the other side. Can I combine 21x and 48? No. So I have to just leave it separate. What do I write next? So I want to write 21x minus 48 because I want my x to come before the number. And then what should I do next? Awesome. I want to get the y all by itself. Since negative 12 is being multiplied to y, I do the opposite and divide everything by negative 12. So this cancels, and I have y is equal to, can I simplify 21 over 12 a little bit maybe? Awesome. What number goes into 21 and 12? What'd you divide by? 3. 3 goes into both of them. So if I divide the top and the bottom by 3, what am I left with? 7 over 4. So this simplifies to negative 7 over 4. Still have to write that x. And then what's negative 48 divided by 12? Negative 12. What is it? 4. It becomes positive 4. So that's my answer. Let's look at 19. What should I do first? Add 7 to both sides. So I have negative y is equal to, can I combine these two together? No, because they're not like terms. So what should I write next? Do I write the negative 2x or the 7? Negative 2x, because the x has to come before the number in my y equals mx plus b. Am I done? Nope, I have that negative in front of the y. So how do I get rid of that negative in front of the y? I can either divide everything by negative 1 or multiply everything by negative 1. It's the same thing. I just changed the signs of everything in my equation. So this becomes a positive y. Negative 2x becomes what? Positive 2x. And positive 7 becomes negative 7. So we just had to change the signs of everything. So notice when I divide all 3 things in my equation. Just like when I divided negative 12, I divided all 3 things in my equation. Any questions there? All right, let's look at 21. What should I do first? Subtract 5 on both sides. I can do that. So it cancels out there. So I have 3x is equal to, can I combine these two together? Nope, because they're not like terms. So negative 5y minus 5. What could I do next? I could. Add 5y to both sides. So I would have 5y plus 3x is equal to negative 5. What should I do next? Subtract 3x on both sides. Can I combine negative 5 and negative 3x? No, they're not like terms, so can't combine them. So I have 5y is equal to, what should I write next? Negative 5 or negative 3x? Negative 3x minus 5. I'm going to rewrite this up here, just give me some more space. So 5y is equal to negative 3x minus 5. And then what should I do? Divide everything by 5. So this cancels, and I'm just left with y. Can I simplify this? Nope, so negative 3 over 5x. And what's negative 5 divided by 5? Negative 1. Awesome. Any questions? All right, 23, we have to sketch the graph. So I need to know my slope and my y-intercept. What's my slope? Negative 4 over 3. So slope is what comes before the x. What's my y-intercept? Five. So what do I put first on my graph? I go up 5. There's a point. Now where do I go? Down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the right 3. Remember, my slope is negative, so my line's going to be decreasing. If I was a person, I'd be walking downhill. So my line has to go this way. If you went down 4 and to the left 3, that would make it an increasing line, and you'd be walking uphill, so that would be positive slope. My slope is negative, so your line has to be decreasing. Any questions? All right, 25. What's my slope? One over 5. What's my y-intercept? 3. What do I put first on my graph? 3. Where do I go? Up, down, left, right? Where am I going 3? Up. So I go up 3, put my point. Now what do I do? So I'm going to go up 1 and over 5. And there's my second point, and then I just connect the dots. Remember, rise over run. So go up 1 over 5. My slope is increasing because it's a positive 1 over 5. So if I was a person walking left to right, just like how you read left to right, I'd be walking uphill. Positive slope. Just as a little review, if I had a line that went horizontally like this, what would my slope be? What do we think? 0 or undefined? Well, let's look at the other option. If I had a line going like this, what would my slope be? Which one's undefined, which one's 0? So if I was a person, which I am a person, what would happen to me if I walked down this line? I would die. So what do you think, undefined or 0? Undefined. I got mixed reviews from the audience. Undefined. So then the blue line, the slope would be what? 0. Because I'm not walking uphill or downhill, I'm just walking. So there's no slope. If I was skiing, I wouldn't move. You wouldn't be hitting the slopes, right? Because you wouldn't be moving. I make myself laugh sometimes, it's fine.